Alright, hi chat. I'm... I'm here. Oh boy. It's been a while. Oh, let me get that hydrate. So, I know I've been, like, radio silent for a full week. Hold on, let me get this music out of here. Here, over here. There we go. And there's no game audio. Great. Glad to see I still don't remember how to do anything. Glad to see that hasn't changed. There we go. But yeah, the TLDR is that I kind of just had a bit of a mental breakdown that kind of lasted for like a full week. I have not been okay, like, at all. But I'm here. I'm better now, and I'm here now. And yeah, it's been, I know, how homophobic that life is gonna give me burnout and a mental breakdown during Pride Month. What the fuck? That shouldn't be okay. That's not allowed. Who allowed that? But it's fine, because I'm disabled enough to get 2 Pride Months in a row, so take that, life. Anyway, there's been a couple changes to the game since I last played. Mostly, did I ever cover this one? I did cover this one. This one had happened. Mostly just a little change to the hunter to make it a little more powerful when it's lying most of the time, and a just straight up, I'm gonna call this a bug fix to the Oracle. Which one's July? Disability Pride Month. There's also been just like a ton of new player changes for standard mode. None of that I'm going to be showing off because I would have to reset and I don't want to. I might reset eventually. Like, once the new player changes settle, I might actually restart myself and see what I can experience that. But for now, I'm gonna just hop into Endless. Let's not do blind mode for the first puzzle. Because I have not played pretty well any game for a week. I'm rusty. Oh, good lord. We have a Puka, a Shaman, a Lycanthrope, and a Wretch in the first puzzle. That is a spicy combination for someone who has not played this game. Also, yes, there is nighttime. I gotta remember, I gotta do that. Yep, cabbages are friends, despite what Willian would say if they were here. Well, let's start flipping. Oh. Yep. Thank you. Like I said, there's been new player stuff. Thank you, new player pop-up. So, here's an interesting observation. If this bishop is telling the truth, they are pointing at the Lycanthrope. So I think that is reason enough to do this. So if this bishop is telling the truth, we do not have a werewolf. We're going to get to find out because we have more than 8 cards. Or 8 or more, I should say. Buddy is claiming 2 was affected by an evil. That seems exceptionally possible at this moment. Shaman being 1 card away from closest evil also seems very possible. Hold up. If these 2 are both to be trusted, there's a non-zero chance that this is the evil team. Puka here corrupting this, and then Shaman over here. However, this also falls apart because this could just be a Shaman pair with another Fortune Teller anywhere else on the board. Also, there could be a Wretch. Here's a Jester. Okay, so this is probably the Shaman pair. Watch it be Shaman pair and they're both corrupted because that's still the Puka. That would be really funny. No, because then this guy would be lying. Oh, but you could totally just be the Shaman that's not one card away from the closest evil. Knight. I'm not stabbing that because we could have a Puka. In fact, we do have a Puka, so this could be corrupted. So I'm not going to stab that. Let's find out if we have a werewolf. We do not, which means you are objectively telling the truth. 4 or 7 is a shaman. I kind of like the idea that I kind of believe you. This is the world that I'm looking at. It would also confirm you, but you could be corrupted. Well, this is a wretch. It has to be a wretch. High wretch. But, like, these two are kind of agreeing with each other. Yeah, 9 is just the wretch, because we need to have a wretch. So, yeah, these two are both kind of agreeing that this is probably the shaman. And I kind of believe you enough that I'm going to just, yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. That actually confirms you are not evil. Which implies that 2 was affected. Is it just 3? I think it might just be 3. Well, here's some known information. If you say anything other than 2, I am stabbing you. That's what I thought. It was the... Remember that thing where I said where watches the shaman pair and they're both corrupted? That's what happened. It was the shaman pair and they were both corrupted. Who knows which kind of evil this guy saw 2 get affected by? It got affected by both of them as far as I can tell. Actually, no. This could be the original and then this could be the shaman duplicate. It's kind of hard to tell with that one. Well, that was a good first puzzle. It shows that I've still got it. Okay, we've got Lilith, Twin Minion, and Bombardier. You are good. Factually true statement. Well, I'd love to thank this pop-up for telling me that there is, you're not allowed to have duplicates normally. So, goodbye. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of new player changes. A bunch of new pop-ups are going to be getting triggered. Dreamer will reset. What do you say? Lilith or Confessor? That is true. Because there is Confessor and there is not Lilith. Okay, you're good. That is a Bombardier. I trust you until proven otherwise. This was good because it didn't increment the evil counter. Yeah, it didn't show that pop-up when they're both true, because, well, it's supposed to show before the shaman and doppelganger exist. Like, it's supposed to show in, like, one of the first 2 puzzles. Are you tempted to buy me Shadows of Doubt? I have not heard of that game. This bishop is just factually telling the truth. There is, in fact, a villager, minion, and outcast that confirms this is a real Bombardier. Jester. I can solve this without flipping this card. Because I know these are all good. You say 1 evil? I disagree. I love puzzles with no corruption. What were you? Fortune teller. What were you? Scout. Nice. Chancellor, Plague Doctor, and who knows? Private detective, immersive sim, and an alternate past 80s-ish Europe. That actually does sound kind of interesting. Remind me to look at that after stream. 2 or 5 is a Chancellor. That is an interesting claim. Druid. Plague Doctor. This seems like an exceptionally plausible Chancellor. Not enough for me to stab it, but... You are 1 card from the closest evil? Well, that makes me think that maybe this is the... Well, here's something I can say. There's probably an evil among these. We could have a doppelganger. Or is a real hunter. I believe you. What are you... I am not dizzy, despite how often I am. I am not currently dizzy. Who is that in the PeerTube chat that's being me? That ain't right. What are you? Empress. Okay, so let me just think here. What kind of outcast would we have? It's not a like... Okay, so it is either a doppelganger or a drunk. There's two possibilities here. We have a doppelganger, and this oracle is full of shit, and this hunter is full of shit, and this is Plague Doctor corrupted. No, this could be real if this is drunk. What are you saying? You are pointing at not... You are pointing at 5. What? Okay. What if it is just 5? Because that's now 3 of you that are saying 5 is a Chancellor. What if Chancellor drunk? No, Chancellor... Wait. No. This cannot be a Chancellor. This is a very complicated, but... If this is a Chancellor, it has to be next to an outcast. It's not like with the Puppeteer where it can fail to create an outcast. The Chancellor always has an outcast. So if this is the Chancellor, one of these has to be either a doppelganger or a drunk. Now, they're not a doppelganger. And if this is a drunk, it's telling the truth, so no it isn't. And if this is a drunk, then this has to not be a real hunter, but it's telling the truth, which means it's not. Which means this is not a Chancellor. And in fact, if it's not a Chancellor, I don't think it can't be Ba either, because this is actually good. This is confirmed good. Because if it can't be the Chancellor, for reasons I just discussed, it can't be Ba, because if it's Ba, then this has to be the Chancellor, which is possible, but the problem with that is that you can never have... Oh, thank you. You can never have 2 evils in an oracle information. Which means this is confirmably good. Which makes me quite suspicious of this. Maybe you're just drunk, or maybe this is just a doppelganger pair. Let's actually use one of these. No outcasts. Let's try this. There is drunk. Okay. Speed boosters telling the truth. Wave beam is evil. A modest bottom. Oh my god. Tuesday race had 2 broken. When we're leaving the first 2 rooms was impossible and the other required a forced spring ball skip with ice speed. Wow. Yikes. Okay. So, here's something I can say. I can't tell you if one of these is the drunk. What I can tell you is that we have a drunk. This is confirmably not good. In fact, actually, I can tell you. There is a drunk among these 2. This is confirmably good. We don't have a doppelganger. Goodbye. That means you're telling the truth. You'd be forced to actually play your copy? Oh no. Okay, we can't really... Okay, one of these is drunk. And I think it's you. Because... Well, hold up. I think one of these is drunk and the other is Plague Doctor corrupted. And I think this is actually evil. I think this is Ba. 6 is not corrupted? How is 6 not corrupted? Okay, here's a new world. You are evil. But no, there has to be an outcast here. Here's a wild idea. Drunk. Evil. Good. Plague doctored. Does this work? There is one evil in the Empress information. The druid is lying about there being a drunk among these three because it is the drunk. No, wait, no, you have to be lying. This doesn't work. Because you have to be, there has to be no outcasts. So this can't be the drunk. This is Plague Doctor corrupted. And this is the drunk. Is that indistinguishable? Well, Ba is being a dingus in some sense, because I know there's a drunk. I've circumnavigated this with the help of these druids, but I think this works. Let me just go. Okay, this works. No, but there has to be an outcast among those. So the drunk can't be 4. No, this has to be the drunk. And then this has to be the Plague Doctor corruption. Why did I say this doesn't work? I thought you were pointing at yourself, but you're not. No, because now you're lying and 4 is a real hunter. Okay. Real, evil, corrupted. Now you're pointing at 3 goods. Annoyingly, I don't think this is distinguishable from... Yeah, it's one of these 3. Well, stabbing this is going to give me more information than stabbing this. So... Oh, okay, it was just that. Wow, that was a very challenging puzzle. You shouldn't be here, you should be running around your house trying to prep for GDQ. Congrats, by the way. A, yes, B, congrats. Yeah, this would have been a run-ender on blind mode, probably. Actually, no, this wouldn't have been a run-ender on blind mode. I would have deduced all the rolls, because you say Chancellor. I would have used this and found drunk from the drunk, would have told me that there's a drunk. The Plague Doctor's face up, and I would have concluded it wasn't a puka, probably. You want to volunteer and socialize? I see. Okay, we've got Lilith, Chancellor, Doppelganger, Wretch, and Plague Doctor, and all of those need to be real. Okay. That is a terrifying number of outcasts in a Lilith puzzle. You are 2 cards away from a corrupted character. That is implying that one of these got Plague Doctored. But you're saying you're 3 cards away. This could be the Doppelganger and they're both pointing at 8. 1 pair of evil. That seems very plausible. Wretch. Well, the character I thought was corrupted is dead. Keep flipping. Okay, well, you aren't telling the truth. No. Yeah, okay, hold up. Wait a minute. Okay, how do we get 3 of them? 2 of them have to be real. Yeah, 2 of them are real. I can confirmably say that now. Because normally I'd say, well, maybe they're just all evil. But we only have 2 evils. And the demon cannot double claim a villager. So yeah, we have, among the bards, we have villager doppelganger chancellor. That is an extremely powerful... In fact, you know what? I'm just gonna stab this one. I'm that confident. Yep. Okay, so there's the one... Oh, I hate this. Here's the one pair of evil. But this doesn't necessarily make you true. Because you could be Lilith, and then there would be two pairs of evil. Okay, I think that confirms these two, though. Which makes me think this probably is... I'm gonna do it. 4 is evil, 8 is corrupted. That is a factually true state. Okay, we found the Plague Doctor corruption. Unfortunately, it told me the Wretch is evil, but... Lilith is 3 cards away from closest evil? That is not possible. Because this isn't evil. And this isn't evil. So this is impossible, and it's not corrupted. Goodbye. What even were you? A medium telling me 8's an oracle, and of course 8 is an oracle. And it was corrupted. Okay. Yeah, bards really were working part-time as a baker here. Okay, that puzzle was not as bad as I thought it would be. You know what? I'm feeling confident. Let's go blind for the next puzzle. Well, we do have nighttime, which means either Lycanthrope or Lilith, or both. That's an original baker. One is evil over there. You are good. Investigator. That is a knight, and it is good, and we have Lilith. Holy shit. You're 1 card away from closest evil. You were a fortune teller. Lilith is 1 card away from closest evil. And we have a witch. Hold up. This is really funny. This is no longer a knight. This must have been this got bakered just now. Okay, this is actually a terrifying puzzle. Well, we know we have Lilith and we know we have a witch. What we don't know is what the outcast is. How can I tell it got bakered? Because this didn't. Actually, no, I can't. Because this could be corrupted? No, it can't. Yeah, hold up. This baker is actually just... This is always good, because... Yeah, this baker is always true and good. So the bakership had to go somewhere. This was a knight as of nighttime. This was a knight, which means that it's a villager because Lilith failed to kill it. So then this baker went here, and then this baker did not go here, so must have gone here. Here's one thing I can say. It's probably these two. I'm going to use you on 2 confirmed villagers. Villager. A corrupted baker does not make more bakers. Okay, never mind. I thought Buddy was evil. Oh no, it can't have been these two, because then you would have been telling the truth. Okay, so it's these two. Yep. Yep. Baker. Baker who says they were an... Oh, we had a lycanthrope. I was wondering who the outcast was. I was paranoid about a drunk this entire time. But no, it was just a lycanthrope that we actually flipped. Okay, no nighttime this puzzle. 1, 1, and 1. Okay, we have a witch. Thank you, Scout. I feel like you said almost that exact same thing last time. You're 1 card away from a corrupted character. I find that very challenging. Okay, one of these is evil, at most. This is probably just evil. But it also could be that this... Well, hold up. If this is evil, then there has to have been 2 corruptions around you. Because you are claiming that this is corrupted. In order for this to be corrupted, this has to be evil. This is... It's possible that this bard is telling the truth, but I don't like it. That's a dreamer. Lover who says 1. Second scout. Okay, so we have a witch and we have a ba. Okay. I'm not gonna stab because we could have a doppelganger. 4 is a real dreamer. I'm not entirely... Oh, right, we have a witch. I think I have to believe these are doppelgangers for now. Wait, but they're saying different information. Well, hold up. We have a witch and a ba. How do we have 1 corruption? Do they have to say the same info? No, but they're saying info that cannot both be true. Because we only have 2 evils in this puzzle. Unless we have... Hold up. Yeah, it could be Plague Doctor or Drone. I was about to say Plague Doctor here. But here, there's only... I'm trying to make these 2 true. So let's just hypothesize that this is a wretch. Just hypothesize. Wretch. 1 card away from that is the witch. And then 1, 2, 3 cards away from that. Holy shit, this is possible. Okay, let's investigate this world. Wait, but then how are you 2? Okay, so wretch, evil, evil. This checks out. This checks out. This checks out. Now, there's just one problem with this checking out. Well, there's 2 problems, actually. A, where is there a corruption that doesn't sort out this shit? And B, how are there 2 of you? So, as hilarious as it is that this almost works, it's not that. I'm still trying to solve. How is there a corruption? I think I'm going to stab you for information. Well. Oh, I hate this. This is true, which means this is corrupted. However, something I did not consider, drunk, tried to cure it, saw it, could not cure it because it's a drunk, and then I did not consider that. Oh god. Well, hold up. In that world where these are both good, this is the drunk. If this is the drunk, this is Ba. This checks out, which confirms this, and then you're evil. I hate that this works. I'm stabbing this scout. Holy shit. And you're the witch then. Oh my god. Okay, that was a terrifying situation that I've never seen before. How were you both telling the truth? What the hell, game? This was not a configuration of how are there 2 of you that I expected. Wow. Okay, we have nighttime today. And we've got 1-1-2 outcasts, though. Closest evil this way. Well, let's flip into that. Judge. Fortune teller. Okay, hi Lilith. This is confirmably good. Between 4, 5... You're pointing at yourself. Okay, if you're pointing at yourself, there's one of a few things is happening here. You are a doppelganger in your own information. You are a puppet in your own information. You are a villager in your own information, which the game doesn't usually do. Or you are corrupted and in your own information. I don't think I can make it... Well, hold on. If this is a puppet, this is the puppeteer. Second judge, that's a little suspicious. You are probably no longer a doppelganger in your own information. Okay, thank you, buddy. Thank you for telling me that. Do puppets count as minions? Yes. So whether or not the werewolf is 2 cards away from the closest evil, it exists. Now, I kind of don't want to flip the next card here, because then I don't have any room for mistakes. This kind of looks like a puka. Yeah, next flip is 3 damage. 2 from Lilith, and then 1 from the werewolf. So, okay, this bishop is the most powerful piece of information on the board right now. It's in its own information. So, it could be corrupted. If it's corrupted, then this is either a puka or a poisoner. In fact... this is evil more often than it isn't, just because of what this bishop is saying. I'm going to use this judge to check this fortune teller. This fortune teller is lying. This really does look like a puka to me. I think this is a puka, this is corrupted, and these are all good. Wait, no, this is Lilith. So it's not a puka. Thanks for reminding me. I keep forgetting Lilith exists in Lilith puzzles for some reason. This could still be a poisoner. Let me try this. Okay, you both think this is lying. I think this is a doppelganger. Fair. Yeah, poisoner is a minion. I think this is either a puppeteer creating a puppet here, or a poisoner poisoning this. Interesting. I think both of these judges are evil. You're drunk. Did not consider that. Well, hold up. How the hell is this true now? Wait, this is also confirmably true. Because there wasn't... So this is the outcast. And it's telling the truth, and it's not a puppet. This jester is Lilith. No, it's the witch. I didn't even know I had a witch. Now, this looks very possible. This also looks very impossible. Phew! Oh, that was a spicy puzzle. What were you? Lover. And you? Hunter. That was how I was really thinking that this bishop was not a bishop. I should have considered that. Wow, that was an impressive solve. Okay. No nighttime. 1-1-1. Judge. Gemcrafter who says 6 is good. Alchemist who says there was a corruption. Empress pointing at a whole bunch of things, including the alchemist. Investigator. Rambler. Flip that just in case there's a witch. No witch. Well, hold on here. Well, hold up. If this alchemist is telling the truth, then this guy's never gonna find anything. Oh. Okay, well, let's look at you now. You're now telling the truth, which means these are confirmably good. 6 is also not good. Goodbye. Easy puzzle. Yeah, and there just actually was no corruption. Bro actually cured the Plague Doctor corruption. Good job, Alchemist. That was, wow, that was a very fast puzzle. Exact same loadout as last puzzle so far. 1-1-1, no nighttime. One pair of evil, allegedly. Plague Doctor, allegedly. Fortune teller. Bishop pointing at itself and not the Plague Doctor. We could have a Chancellor. Oh. 4 or 8 is a puppet. That's a dreamer. That is a second bishop. They're both pointing at 1 and 6. The Gemcrafter who says 2 is good. Okay. I kind of like the idea that it's just both. No, it can't be both. Wait a minute. It can't be. I really want this. Hold up. This can't be a puppet. I don't think. Wait, no, it can. Well, hold on. No, if it's a puppet, it's the minion, which means 1 and 6 is a villager and an outcast. Now, the problem here is that 1 or 6 is a villager and an outcast, which means 5 has to be the 5 has to be a minion. Which the puppeteer is a minion. But the problem is, if this is the puppeteer, then it's telling the truth. So this is not the puppet. Could this be the puppet? Very easily. Okay, well, if this is not the puppet, is it otherwise telling the truth? It could be corrupted. I think that's worth a Plague Doctor check. 7 is evil. I kind of believe that, actually. And I believe that as well. Okay. So you, and you are all good. You told the truth. It's you. Wow. Thank you, Plague Doctor. That totally could have been a lying Plague Doctor, but honestly, that would have been just as powerful to know, so... This is, again, being dealt the exact same situation. 1-1-1, no nighttime. 7 was affected by an evil. Okay. Fortune teller. Wretch. Which is our one outcast. If we see another outcast, it is... I was about to say stab on sight, but we could have a Chancellor. We have a Puka. First Puka puzzle since I went blind. Interesting. Not sure what to make of that quite yet. There's 2 of you, and you're both pointing at 7. I'm not stabbing that in a Puka puzzle. Who am I kidding? Yes, I am. Okay. So here's something. Number 1 is lying. Yeah, number 1 is straight up lying. Because if we know that's a good night, how was it affected by an evil? I mean, just go through the list here. Could be the puppet. No, it can't be the puppet because I tried to kill it. It's not corrupted because I tried to kill it. It's not a villager turned into an outcast because it can't be any of those outcasts. It was not cloned by a shaman. It wasn't killed by Lilith, and it's not an outcast hidden by Ba. So, yeah, you are just never true. You could be corrupted, though. But this is confirmably false. Can the wretch be corrupted? Outcasts in general cannot be corrupted unless it's the drunk. Here's something. Puka corrupted evil. Is that something? Does that make these 2 work? You're pointing at 2, and you're pointing at 4. Okay, this is no longer the solution, because this... New idea. Puka, corrupted. True. Evil. I should have, hold on, I should have looked at these immediately, because we could have a shaman. If the evils are at 2 and 4... if the evils are 2 and 4, then the scout is not telling the truth, because the wretch. This works. Well, you should always say false. Because you're always... If it's 2 and 4, the closest evil is 3. Because the wretch registers as evil. It's never evil, but it always registers as evil. I think this is the solution. And then you're good. Amada, do I not know how to read? Yeah, Puka at 2 does not affect Wretch. That is true. If the evils are at 0 is closer than 1. That's not how the scout counts. 2 cards away means 1, 2. Is how it works. So this is 1 card away, not 0 cards away. Am I still not getting it? I like this idea, personally. And you're confirmably lying. Okay. Yeah, I think it is just this. Okay, it was just this. It would see itself as the closest evil. It would see the wretch as the closest evil to the Puka. And be lying because it was evil. It's the closest evil to the evil mentioned. So it's... Yeah, the scout is saying the Puka is 2 cards away from the closest evil to the Puka, not to the closest evil to the scout. That is... That is a bit of a common new player trap. Yeah, if the scout was evil. No, because it. Well, let me clear all these markings. So we're saying that in the world where these two are evil, then every evil is one card away from any other evil in this world. Because the Wretch registers as evil. So it's not 2 cards away because it's 1 card away. No matter which of these was the Puka or the... It's okay. You got wretched. It happens. In general, the only evil that can tell the truth is the puppet. But this isn't the truth in this scenario. Okay. We've got 1/2/1 no knight. Bard who's claiming corruption exists. Investigator. Knight who is 2 cards away from a bard saying they are 2 cards away from a corrupted character. I am not stabbing that. Plague Doctor. 9 or 10 is a minion. It's to disprove 2 or 4 is the evil pair. Oh. Yeah. The way to disprove 2 and 4 is the evil pair was that, first of all, why are there 2 Oh, no, it could have been 2 empresses because of shaman pair. But I forget what I saw that made it not work, but I saw something. Closest evil counterclockwise makes me a little suspicious of this oracle. Never mind, now I'm a little suspicious of this enlightened. Now I'm a little suspicious of this plague doctor. Or maybe this plague doctor. I can't quite tell. And 10 is a rambler, allegedly. So here's something. We're only supposed to have... Well, here's something I can confidently say. And that is that there is no possible way to have 2 plague doctors at the same time. So I'm going to use one of these plague doctors to check the other one. You think 8 is corrupted? Okay. So, first of all, you're evil. Second of all, this is now confirmed good. Because 2 is evil has to be a lie, which means 2 is not evil. That also means this is a plague doctor. Confirmably. Oh, hold up. We have both minions. I don't know what the demon is. It's either Ba or Lilith. But here's something. We have a minion and a twin minion. So you're telling the truth. I'm not gonna stab this. The Chancellor... It's not that the Chancellor has to... The Chancellor cannot make a double out, a real duplicate outcast. If you see 2 of the same face-up outcast, one of them is evil. And that is just a factual statement. Oh yeah, why is the Bard not swearing? Yeah, the Bard's not swearing at the Rambler because it's not the Rambler, it's the minion. Which also means you're true. I think you're true, you're Plague Doctor corrupted by this Plague Doctor that is real. This is a safe stab now. Okay, you're good. So... I think it's just the Enlightened. Wait, no, it can't be the Enlightened. Because the Enlightened's telling the truth. Where do we fit another evil in this puzzle? Maybe it is just you. You know, oh, here's an idea. Maybe it is just you. Okay. So, the problem with it being the lover... Oh, it has to be the demon. It could be Puka. I think it is the... Yeah, okay, I think lover's Puka now. I was going to say the problem with that is that this is pointing the wrong way, but if it's Puka, it would. Okay. wasn't that hard of a puzzle. Yeah, Plague Doctor hit this, Puka hit this. I already proved 9 was corrupted by stabbing 3. I think 9 could have been Ba if the Plague Doctor hit the lover. That was the scenario I was oh wait, no, but oh yeah, right, the bard, right. I'm a little silly sometimes. Okay, we have nighttime this time. We've got 1, 2, 1 and nighttime. That is a bombardier. We have a shaman, who is allegedly 2 cards away from the closest evil. That's an investigator. Hunter. Hi, Lilith. That is extremely suspicious, but this could be a shaman pair pointing at these 2. That is a plague doctor. We could have a chancellor. I'm starting to believe these 2 again. No, you're real. You're real. Okay. Well, this confirms these 2. Does that also confirm we have a chancellor? I think it does. Wait, no, it doesn't. Here's something. Evil. This is, I don't know, like just a minion or something. And this is the demon. No, because then why are you lying? Plague Doctor hit you. Okay, no, this just doesn't work. I'm gonna mark that as real, which also means I think I think one of these has to be a chancellor. Yeah, what about the hunters? Yeah, you can't reuse abilities after night anymore. Okay, well, I don't think this hunter's telling the truth. That hunter is a chancellor. The thing is, now this hunter is telling the truth. Yeah, Dreamer is the only one that still refreshes. So, here's the thing. This is no longer true. Thank you, Plague Doctor. Okay, that didn't actually help as much as I was hoping it would. Well, hold up. Now I know these are both outcasts. You say minion, it's you. Phew. That was a bit spicy, but I solved it in the end. Okay, we've got 1/1/1 no night. That's a fortune teller. Alchemist saying no corruption. I'll hydrate. Hey, Winter. Hold on. Oh, ow. My neck just went full glow stick on me. Closest evil is this way. I kind of believe you. Defend? How dare they? Now that is a confirmably false statement. In a puzzle which allegedly has no corruption, goodbye. Right, I forgot. Puppet alchemists lie. They really need to fix that. Known bug. So, here's what's happening. The alchemist used to say, I cured N corruptions. So what this puppet is trying to say is that it cured 0 corruptions, which is true, but that's not actually what it says anymore, and the logic just falls apart. Because it's true that it didn't cure any corruptions, because it's not an alchemist and its ability doesn't work. That's why this happens. Okay, well, hold up. We know there's a puppeteer, and you are confirmably lying now. Oh. Well, I guess that answers that question. This is the puppeteer now. Who would have thought stabbing this hunter would have solved it? What even was the rest of the puzzle? Yeah, I probably should have flipped those. I feel like I've seen a witness in seat 1 saying that 7 was affected by an evil before. I feel like I've seen this somewhere. Also, we have nighttime and 2 outcasts. That's scary. Well, we found a rambler. I'm not going to flip it in case we have a witch. Oh god, an alchemist. Okay, both of them telling this rambler to shut up kind of makes me trust all of them. Hi, Knight. Good job, Lilith. I feel like I've seen a Lilith try to stab a knight in specifically seat 8 before today. Is this just the same puzzle? I mean, like, it objectively isn't. But hold on, let me mark that as a rambler before I forget. That's an investigator. Yeah, twice in one stream. How does this happen? 1 pair of evil. That seems a little hard to believe. 2 of you. I'm actually going to get more information for letting Lilith kill this. Okay, this is a good rambler. Because here's what the reason I did that is because if this died and it was evil, then I learn a ton. So these are both true. And werewolf. That is a good observation that I did not pick up on. And the werewolf has to be over here. Oh, shit. In fact, I think the whole... Is the evil team just these 3? I think the evil team is just these 3. You're lying because there's 2 pairs of evil? Yep. Fuck. I was so confident. You're lying because there's no pair of evil. God damn it, I should have used these. Okay. So here's what happened here. There's a missing line in this description. Dash turned into werewolf. So this one lied because this was not affected by an evil because it was a lycanthrope. This one told the truth because it was affected by an evil because it was a werewolf. Oh, good lord. I really thought it was just these 3. I thought it was these 3 and we had a shaman. Damn it. Okay, 111, no knight. I feel like I've seen this before. Okay. You are claiming that either this is corrupted, or this is a drunk. Or is a real enlightened. How true does that seem? You're pointing right back into this. That's spicy. That's a judge. Revenge of the investigator in seat 6. Who was affected by an evil. I think that, okay, this is a shaman pair. I refuse to believe you are not a shaman pair. The minion. Okay, you're both saying minion, so I think they're both... I think this is all true. I think this is all true. You were cloned by the shaman, and there is a minion here. You know, I'm gonna just read this. Drunk, true, true, again. Evil, evil. This works. Okay. Well, this is confirmably true now. So, this is a lie, this is a lie. This is presumably corrupted. This is lying. Oh, God. This has suddenly become a very hard puzzle. So, no, this doesn't work because... Well, hold up. Evil... What if it's just both of them? Can it just be both of them? No, because then you didn't see a corruption anywhere. Unless you... Hold up. Puka corrupted this, cured it. This was the one corruption around the alchemist from this Puka, which then got cured. I think it's this. But then why is number 2 lying? Because we also have a poisoner. This works. Fuck. Or a doppelganger. And 3 was a puppet. Good job, Bai. You made me think this was a goddamn Puka puzzle. Okay, so what was actually happening here? 6 was the doppelganger hidden by the Ba. That's what the witness actually saw. Wow. There was just no corruption. No, the doppelganger cloned the investigator. They were both good, both telling the truth, because there was a minion here, the puppet, who was telling the truth about the enlightened who was dead. There was not one corrupt. Oh my god. Yeah, that was... I don't think I was ever solving that. Okay, 111 and nighttime. That is a spicy sentence, but it could be very true. Evil clockwise is this way. Now you two are in direct contradictory claims. We have a lycanthrope and no Lilith. Let me just try... No. Hold up, we do have a lycanthrope, so let's just try this. No outcasts, okay. There's a couple possibilities with that information, but I think that was the best way to use that. I hate you. Or as a real druid, that could be a lie if this is specifically the lycanthrope. Closest evil clockwise? Well, let's see. Okay. So we have a lycanthrope and we still have a lycanthrope. There's a few possibilities. One, the lycanthrope is among these 3. And this is lying. Or 2, this is the lycanthrope. Well, here's something I can say. Oh, no, I can't. I was about to say this is not a plague doctor, but it actually could... This actually could have been a... This could be a real plague doctor if this is a chancellor, and this really does look like a chancellor. What happens if drunk alchemist? It just lies. Closest evil is clockwise. Yeah, alchemist would do nothing and lie about how many evils. Oh god. Okay, I think... You know, I think this is actually the most useful thing I can do. 4 is not corrupted. Okay. So if it's not... Let me... Okay. Let's go for the world where this is evil. And the lycanthrope is over here. We have a maximum allocation of 1 other lie. Or no, 2 lies. This world works. Let me be smart about this. In this world, we have Chancellor and Ba. There's no Lilith there's no Lilith in this puzzle. Count isn't 2. The count does not go up if there's a Chancellor. So in this world, I'm saying specifically Chancellor Ba. In this world, I don't have the... I'm not hitting tab to bring up the list. I do not have the dynamic character counts on. I have it off because I find it more fun like that. So the UI will not be outing if there's a Chancellor. So this could be a Chancellor that is creating this Plague Doctor that is real. But let's go for a different world. Go for the world where this is the lycanthrope. Hold up, this... Well, this... If this is the lycanthrope, then this is evil. This is pointing directly at it. There is no Plague Doctor corruption. And this is lying. But this is also lying. Why is this also lying? So I don't actually think 4 can be the lycanthrope here. Wait, no, why did I say this is evil? Hold up, I think I'm... This could still... 4... This is... This can't be lycanthrope here and real Plague Doctor. In fact, I think this might have to be a real Plague Doctor. Well, hold up. If this is the lycanthrope, this, I think, has to be evil. Then this has to be evil. This is the Chancellor created by it. And this is Plague Doctor corrupted again. Okay, I think this works. Let's mark this. But it is interesting that this is the Chancellor in both scenarios. Wait, this doesn't work. Because you're lying, and you have no reason to be lying. In fact, does that break? The other one also breaks down for that same reason. Okay. What if you're true? This is the Chancellor that created that. You're lying now. Okay, what if... Hold up. Well, here's something I can say. This Plague Doctor is real. If this Plague Doctor was lying... Wait, no, hold up. We could have like a poisoner. Let me see if I can prove this Plague Doctor is real. Because in order for this Plague Doctor... Lycan 4, Plagued 6, Ba 2, Chancellor 1. Does it work? Let me write that down. So, Lycanthrope here. Plague Doctor hits 6. Evil, evil. Oh shit, I think this does work. And that makes you Chancellor, and you could actually be either demon. This does work. I really like this, actually. I'm gonna stab this, because this is just so absurd, and it looks like a Chancellor. It is a Chancellor. And at this point... Wow. Yeah. I like how you're saying it can't be Puka. It actually is Puka, but... It's Puka who failed to corrupt anything. That's great. You love to see Puka who failed to corrupt anything. Okay, that was a tricky puzzle. Chat actually solved that one for me. Wow. We do not have nighttime. We have 1/1/2. Fortune teller. Poet who's 1 card away from the closest evil. Oh god. 5 is good. That is a very suspicious thing for you to be saying. Okay, we have a Chancellor, which means we should have 3 outcasts. Well, here's one of them. There's another one. Okay. Oh boy. Oh god, okay. We have a Chancellor. 1 or 5? I don't actually think 1 or 5 can be a Chancellor. Wait, no, Chancellor Drunk works. Let's start there. Chancellor Drunk. I would make you true. You need to be 2 away from a corrupted character. That actually doesn't work. Because if you're true and you're 2 away from a corrupted character... Well, hold on. Let me do this to just check what the Bard's saying. The Bard is confirmably lying. Let me do this. There's Doppelganger. So okay, hold up. Do you say the same thing? Yes. Suddenly, all of these have become good. 6 is definitely lying. That is confirmable statement. What if it's just this? Okay, well, we found our liars. Yeah, let me play liar's economy here. This could be Puka. No, this can't be Puka. Because then... I think this is just true. Hold up. No, because... Puka... No, it can't be Puka Evil Corrupted, because we know this is not corrupted. Now, I am hinging everything on this being a real plague doctor. It is hypothetically possible that this is not a real plague doctor and we have a drunk somewhere. But, and in fact, it's very hard to distinguish if that's happening. Because a drunk and a plague doctor corruption look very similar. But I think I'm gonna try just stabbing one. I think I'm gonna just trust this poet. Yeah. Metroid 6 is apparently a thing. I'm excited for that. I'm probably not going to get it because it's going to be Switch 2 and I am not spending thrice the price of my PC to buy a console. But okay. You're corrupted. I got to think about this because we have between these three, we have in fact, I think this is, oh god. All of these are confirmably, well, hold up. This can't be corrupted or else this is telling the truth. And also this is just not corrupted. That's Puka. Which means this is the doppelganger, specifically. Let me mark that. Nope, that's how you mark Plague Doctor corrupt. Oh, fuck. Yeah, okay, let's just do it like that. I just know this is the doppelganger. These are all good. Oh, wait a minute. One was in this information, so it had to be good. This is a 50-50. One of these is Plague Doctor corrupted, the other is evil. I don't know why I feel like it's this one. Whew. You win the 50-50 every time, half the time. Okay, 1, 1, 2, and nighttime. That's a bombardier. The witness who says 4 was affected. The poet outing that we have a puppeteer. Okay, so we have puppeteer and Lilith. Now, I don't know if one can be a puppet. So... What evil were you affected by? Hold up. Puppeteer, puppet, Lilith? Damn it. It's not this. Unless you're corrupted somehow. This works. Wretch. This almost works. But there's just... I cannot make this fit into this mess. So this is not the solution. But here's something. The only way in a Puppeteer Lilith board that this witness could have been telling the truth is if this was the puppet. The only way for this to be the puppet is if this is the puppeteer. And if this is the puppet, it has to be telling the truth, which means Lilith has to be here. But then we run out of liars. So this is confirmably false. Oracles don't lie about puppets? think the Oracle can lie about a puppet. There has to be a puppet, but it doesn't have to be there, I don't think. Unless this is some kind of... If this is a rule, I hope it gets changed, because that's not very fun. Hold up, we have 2 scouts. I'm not seeing any corrupt... Wait, hold up, yeah. 2 has to be... Yeah, we have no corruption. Okay, 2 is just Lilith. Who is 2 cards away from the closest evil. Unless this is evil. But we already disproved it being... Well, hold... No. You have a hypothetical question? Yeah, this... Hold up. This being the puppet in its own information does work. Yeah, this... I think it is this. This the puppet. That is the puppet. If Lilith tries to eat a corrupted knight... I have never seen that happen. That's a very good question. I don't think so. Okay. So is it actually a real thing that an oracle who talks about a puppet has to be pointing at it? I know an oracle pointing at itself claiming to be the puppet is always the puppet, almost. Oh yeah, on night text it says if you execute this, not... Oh, I forgot to look at what 5 was. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 1, and nighttime. Architect pointing away from itself. We have a twin minion. 7's a real plague doctor. 9 is a real dead. There's 2 of you now. Jester. Plague Doctor. Fortune Teller. Good. Okay. It does kill the knight, that's for sure. But it doesn't do the extra damage. So, okay. Lilith can kill its own evil team. However, if there is a good that it can kill, it will. Ten is confirmed good because the evils killed counter did not increment. Yeah, they have to be unflipped cards. So 10 was good and got killed. If Lilith kills an evil, the counter does go up. Give root. Well, yeah, I mean, you also get like the no, you killed me text pop-up from the card that you get when you kill an evil. Pay attention next time I stab something. Okay, I gotta start actually looking at this puzzle. First of all, why are there 2 of you? We could have a shaman. Here's an idea. Evil. Evil. Confirmably true. Wait. There is a way that this is true, and that's if there's a wretch in here, and this is not a plague doctor. 8 is not corrupted. The only way for this Plague Doctor could hypothetically still be evil. If and only if exactly it is evil and this is a drunk. That is the only way, but we have disproved there being a wretch here. And no matter what, 8 is still lying, so this guy is confirmed. These are hold up, it could just be this. That makes you work. That makes these work. Let's see if I get a Jester 3. I got a Jester 3. I think it's just this. That's Lilith. That's a puppeteer. Hi. That's the Twinion. Oh god. Which one of you is a puppet? This is a 50-50. You win them every time, though. The Scout? Oh yeah, the Scout. Right. Thank you, Scout. Oh yeah. I found the corruption. We had a corrupted druid here. And a fortune teller here. Oh yeah, and the architect had to be lying. I think I knew that subconsciously and just didn't process it. Okay, we've got 111 a night. Gemcrafter, who says 5 is good. Jester. Enlightened, who says equidistant. That's spicy. 5 was affected by an evil, allegedly. Yeah, could be a lycanthrope. Well, it is Lilith. It could still be a lycanthrope. In fact, we don't see anything that even looks like an outcast. Oh, God. Okay, so my first thought... Wait a minute. 2 equidistant enlightens. Now, that is very hard to be true. It's not impossible. Okay, hold up. Let me make this true for a second. In order to make both, let's just hypothesize this is a doppelganger pair. Or, I guess, or a shaman pair. It's indistinguishable. Evil, evil. Evil. Holy shit, this works. I think I want to do this. Investigator or Lilith? That to me sounds like Investigator and not Lilith. Yeah, because the werewolf in 6 is now evil. That's what I'm thinking. And that means we have specifically a shaman and a Lilith. Because it can't be a doppelganger, because... This works. We have Lilith. Lilith is one of them. We have Lilith, a shaman, and a werewolf. I think this is right. And the left side's not more evil because both sides are equally evil. I think this probably gives me... Who's my outcast? The lycanthrope, who became a werewolf. Presumably here. I don't think This is true. Chancellor? Chancellor created a doppelganger instead of a shaman pair. Okay, that still works. And Lilith. Okay, so I was like, I wasn't quite right, but I was basically right. I thought it was a shaman pair, but it was actually a chancellor who made a doppelganger. That's close enough to the same thing. What were you? You are right, you were an investigator. And Lilith killed him. Okay, we've got 1/1/1 and nighttime. You did completely call Lycan. Oh. That is very interesting. This is confirmably good. And we have a wretch. Because it doesn't see an outcast. Which means this is never seeing any outcast. Which makes it confirmably true. Hi, Lilith. One, 6, or 8. There's the wretch. It's very hard for this not... Hold up. Yeah, the left side is more evil at this point. The only way for the left... Hold up. The only way the left side is not more evil is if it's this. It actually could be this. Oh, God. Well, if it's this, bro will say demon here. He did not say demon. Which means it's not this. Now, that actually disproves... That actually means this is... Well, hold up. 8's dead. This is evil. It does still work with the Empress, but it doesn't work with this. Because in this world, this has to be the demon. So that means one of these is evil. Well, hold up. Okay, it's the Empress then. Yeah, it had to be the Empress because... Here's my logic on that. In order for this investigator to have seen minion... Well, first of all, if this couldn't have been... If this was Lilith, then this guy would have seen it. And there's no way for him to have been corrupted, because we know we have a twinion by that point. We know twin minion wretch. So if he can't have been corrupted in this scenario, then either he was evil... But the problem about him being evil is then he would have had to be Lilith, and then he saw the truth here. Which means it had to be Lilith here. Yeah, he is saying the most suspicious thing. Here is one very spicy thing. The investigator is allowed to see a demon and say minion. Okay, we've got 1/2/1, no nighttime. Poet who says 7 is good. Bard who is 2 cards away. Well, if that Bard's telling the truth, then this is a safe stab. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna sort out what that means later. Never mind. That is a very spicy thing to be saying. But it's true. It is confirmably true. Hi, wretch. That is confirmably true for several reasons. That is confirmably false. This is true now. This is not corrupted, so goodbye. Okay, well that was a certified when you put Ba in charge of the evil team puzzle. So let's try another one. Rambler. In a 1/1/1 no evil or no knight. Judge. Investigator. Judge. Slayer. Witness claiming he was affected by an evil. And Baker, who is definitely lying. Okay, then. Hold up, that also means this is confirmably good. Well, hold up. Let me think of all the way. There's only so many ways that a witness can claim to be affected by an evil and be true. A witness who is the puppet can see that. If he's corrupted, he won't see that. If he's specifically a doppelganger created by a chancellor, he can see that. If he's part of a shaman pair. If he's a doppelganger who is hidden by the... Or lycanthrope, who is hidden by the Ba. I guess lycanthrope created by chancellor also works. But here's the thing. None of those are possible in this puzzle. So you are either... Well, hold up. Can you even be corrupted here? Because if you were corrupted, then you are affected by an evil and you have to lie. So I think you're just evil. You're just evil. That also confirms these two. It could have been a drunk, that is true. But the problem with it being a drunk is that this is confirmably false and speaking next to a rambler. Okay, so we found a shaman. Now what kind of demon do we have? I'm gonna just try something absurd. Okay. Think... Okay, fair enough. Just doing a corruption check here. Okay, I don't think we have any... Hold up, there's no way for you to be corrupted. That's another certifiable Ba is in charge of the evil team puzzle. Can I get a slightly spicier puzzle to end the stream on, please? 9 is a rambler. Closest evil is rambler words. That's an investigator. We have a lycanthrope. Yeah, never put Ba in charge of the evil team in blind mode. Architect, always pointing away from its own side. One evil adjacent. Fortune teller. We do have a werewolf. You've forgotten what Ba does? It hides an outcast in the deck view. Oh, we have a witch. Yeah, it hides, but... Yeah, hides an outcast. The problem with hiding an outcast from the deck view is I'm not looking at the deck view. Okay, so... I wish you were... God damn it, Rambler. I'm inclined to just believe this, because I'm not seeing anything else that really... Hold up, we have 2 outcasts. I want to believe this as well. So here's the thing, we need 2 evils, and I'm running out of places to put them. It could just be that it's these 2. Well, that just made things a lot more complicated. Yeah, old Ba was just not a threat at all. Ba used to be even more of a dingus, if you can believe it. Okay, well now that I know there's an evil here, you say false, I say you are false. Well, hold up. If you're a werewolf, that means there isn't a fortune teller. Oh, the lycanthrope was the second outcast. Okay, I'm stupid. Hi, Rambler. Okay, we've got 2 or 4 as a Chancellor in a 1/1/1 with Knight. That is a very spicy thing to be saying that is probably not true. Closest evil counterclockwise could be a lycanthrope. Alternatively, this could be a Chancellor. And then this is still evil and this is just true. That's always refreshing to see. And this seems exceptionally true. I'm gonna be real. Wait, it can't be. Oh. Oh my god, wait, this is a confirmable lie. And now this is a lie. Great job, Ba. Wait. Lycanthrope. Yeah, bards do not uncorrupt. The bard is saying that there is no corrupted character for it to point at here. All right. 1/1/2 with nighttime. This is probably going to be an actual challenge. 7's a real plague doctor. Confessor who is good. 3 away from a corrupted character. I'm actually going to flip this plague doctor because I want to have it. That's Lilith. These two really seem to think 6 is corrupted. We have a werewolf. One is evil. Wait. How the fuck? So 1 is saying that you are a real plague doctor. If 1 is evil, you are not a real plague doctor. One is specifically corrupted, and this is evil. And this now has to be corrupted. This also has to not be corrupted, which means it is not the werewolf. It could still be evil, but it's not a werewolf. Well, hold up. If it's not a werewolf, then one of these is. Checking this on itself is going to be the best I can do. You're saying truth? I disagree. Fuck. How are you corrupted, though? Hookah in seat 9? And what's going on here now? Because now we know we have Lycanthrope drunk. These are both confirmably wrong. Is it just... It can't be both of them. Wait. Oh, God. Let me sort out what this Chancellor Plague is saying. We started at 1. This could hold up. It could be both of them, because this could be a werewolf. That is one card away from the closest evil. Wow. Because usually I do 1, 2, 3, 4, but I did not do that. How are you corrupt? By the real plague doctor that was created by the chancellor who was disguising as a fake plague doctor. Holy shit. That was a spicy one. Yeah. Usually I do 1, 2, 3, 4. But this time I did 1, 2, 3, 7 because I wanted to have this plague doctor in play. But that was, wow, that was tough. But that is going to be me calling it for today. I forget what I have as a background behind this. Nothing. That checks out. That is going to be the end of this stream. Thank you, Pineapple. Let me get that in the other chats as well. Failed to send message. God damn it, stream place. Did I get signed out again? Yes. Okay. The Black Sky server is just down again. Is that what happened? Seemingly. Okay, well, I have no idea what's going on with stream place right now. But that will be the end of the stream for... Okay, yeah, Okay, Black Sky is just down right now. That's unfortunate, but... Let me refresh that. Can you suggest a raid target? Sure. Because I'm not seeing most of my... I mean, Orchid, but I raid Orchid way too much. Yeah, PeerTube and Streamplace, if Streamplace is even still live, I genuinely cannot tell. It looks like it is still live. Sent over Discord. Let me go check. See if they seem cool. Again, ads. Hmm. You know what? Sure. I see. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'll send the raid over there per Pineapple's suggestion. Yeah. They are playing Crypt of the Necrodancer, which I have actually considered. I've actually considered both Necrodancer games, but they're doing some, as Pineapple said, GDQ practice, I think. Or they didn't say that. They said that in DMs. Oops. But yeah, I am very hungry and need to go make some lunch. So I hope you enjoyed their stream, and I will see y'all whenever I stream next, hopefully soon. I will see y'all later.